Press conferences in Football Manager are one of the worst parts of the game. Today, we are fixing press conferences using AI. A lot of people don't like playing press conferences in Football Manager. It's stale, you end up getting the same questions over and over again, and it's really not one of the most fun parts of the game. I think a lot of people end up just skipping press conferences. But we're going to try to find a way to make press conferences a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more interesting in FM by using AI. So we are going to simulate a press conference using everything we've done here in ChatGPT to see if we can make press conferences something that's actually fun and a dynamic part of the world that we've built in Football Manager. So for this video, we're going to simulate a post-match press conference. So I've taken the last game that I've played in the Philippines Build a Nation save here with United City. And the last match I played was a 2-0 away win against the Philippines under-20 squad. So what I've done here to give ChatGPT enough information so that we could simulate a press conference is first, I've taken a screenshot of the screen you're looking at right now. So it gives all the stats and the key moments from the game. So we can see players that got yellows, we can see who scored, we can see the positions that all of those players played. We have the score, we have the stats, we have the XG match story. So using this image, ChatGPT should have a pretty good idea of what happened in the game so that we can build a post-match presser. But in addition to just the game, I think it's important for ChatGPT to have some context both of the season and of what's going on. So as far as expectations are concerned, I've also taken a screenshot of this image here, which I think the important thing gives the season preview. So ChatGPT has some idea of how good we are as a team and also how good the Philippines under-20s are as a team. So hopefully when it looks at this image, it knows we're the favorites in this away match and we were expected to win. So that should give some context to the questions it could be asking in a post-match presser. And finally, I've taken an image of the Philippines Football League as a whole as well. So we have an idea of what the actual league table looks like. So we can see here, we're currently in second, 9 matches in, 21 points. We're close to the top of the table. We can see the Philippines under-20s are doing all right as well. So we have some context for the league table now, where the match was in the season, what the competition was. And we also have some context for how players on the team are doing. We can see Arcarazo is the leading goal scorer in the league. Santos has the most player of the match awards. We can see Matt Orr, who didn't play, has one of the highest average ratings. So by giving ChatGPT all of this information, hopefully we'll be able to do something that's pretty dynamic and a very fun post-match press conference. So now this is what we've got in Football Manager. This is the information we've given AI. Let's move over to ChatGPT and see if we can do something kind of fun here. All right, here we are with ChatGPT. Can we make a fun press conference? So this is what I've done here. I've given it the 3 screenshots here, so I don't know if you can see in the screenshots, but there's the match, there's the league table, and there's the season preview screen. But I've also given it a prompt here, so I'll read you guys the prompt, and I'll also put the prompt in the description below. So if you find this interesting, you could copy the prompt yourself. And we're going to fill out the prompt here, but that way you can apply it to your own match if you find this interesting. So let's simulate a post-match soccer press conference. You can also put football, but I'm currently the manager of, and I'm going to input here, United City FC. And here are the details for the press conference. So team and score, United City FC. I'm just going to abbreviate that UCFC2. And then team B is going to be the Philippines under-20 team. So let's put that as 0. All right, next up, competition/context. We're going to put regular league match in the Philippines Football League. That way it knows that this was a regular league match. Was it like a final or anything particularly important? But we will put Philippines Football League, so that way it knows the league we're in. As far as key events here is concerned, I'm just going to say see first image for key events of the match. And I'm going to say see first image for key events as well for the match stats here. So see first image for match stats. So hopefully there it knows to see the first image to understand what happened in the match to develop questions around. Then, as far as the role is concerned, I am talking to ChatGPT now. So you, ChatGPT, play a room full of journalists asking me questions about the match. Please create multiple journalists and publication names as we move through the press conference. Hopefully, that'll make it a little bit more dynamic. It won't be like Football Manager, where we're getting like 1, 2, 3 journalists we see over and over again, especially in the Philippines. It's always the same journalists. We love the guy, but we get the same guy each time. So let's make it a little bit more dynamic. Press style journalists ask me questions and I answer as the head coach. Tone is an interesting one, and I kind of want to play around with the tone. I think we're going to do this twice. I'm going to start off with just a regular serious tone. I feel like that's how it is normally, but you can also go jovial. You can be creative with your adjectives here. You can do jovial, celebratory if you just won the league or something. Argumentative could be a fun one. Lighthearted could be a fun one, but I want to do hostile. Let's do this again. We're going to try this again, but we're going to go with serious, but I want to try it again with hostile. And the last thing I want to do, so it doesn't just spit out a list of questions, that way it's like question answer format. I'm going to tell ChatGPT to please pause after each question so that I can answer live as the manager. We can then create a dynamic conversation where you can build off of my responses and subsequent questions. I think that's one of the issues with Football Manager, right? It has a pre-programmed series of questions, so it gets stale after a while. You can say whatever you want. There's not going to be any consequences. Let's see if there's some consequences to the questions here. So I'm going to do this, and let's see if we can get something. So there's the prompt. And ChatGPT is going to think about this. All right, let's see what we got. So, all right, coach, let's kick this off. You've just beaten the Philippine under-20s 2-0 in the league. The media room is packed. The floor is open. And we have Carlos Dizon from the Manila Bulletin. Coach, congratulations on the win. Looking at the stats, your team controlled possession with nearly 60% and created far more chances reflected in the higher XG. Do you feel the scoreline accurately reflects your dominance, or do you think it should have been more decisive? This is interesting because it is something that is kind of said in Football Manager, but I think it's a better question. And I'm just realizing now I have to answer this. What should I say? I mean, yeah, I do feel like the scoreline accurately reflected our dominance. I'll say that. I think the scoreline accurately, now we have to deal with my slow typing here. I think the scoreline accurately reflected our dominance over the Philippines under-20s. That sounds bad, doesn't it? I'm just going to say reflected our dominance. All right, I've decided this will be my response. I think the scoreline accurately reflected our dominance. I felt we controlled the match and we played to the best of our abilities. We could have perhaps been more decisive in front of goal, but overall, I'm happy with how we played. So I will respond that, and let's see what they respond. All right, we got Maria Santos now. ESPN Philippines, let's go. Coach Santos scored a brace today and looked very sharp up front. This is our new signing. ChatGPT doesn't know it's a new signing, though. That is something I could have added for context. But he scored a brace today. How important has it become to your attacking setup, and what do you make of his overall performance in the match? Now, what I want to see here, will ChatGPT build off? If I say Santos is a new signing, will they pick up on that? So I'm going to say that in my response here. So I'll do my response, and let's see what they pick up. All right, I'm really building in here that Santos is a new signing. So Santos was brilliant in front of goal today. I've been really happy with the impact he's had on the team. As a new signing, he's only been here for a couple of weeks, but he's proved he deserves to be in the first team squad and has done well finding the back of the net. I'm very happy we've signed him. So this should really indicate that he's a new signing. Let's see if ChatGPT builds off of this. They have not built off of it, but Fox Sports Asia here from Kenji Tanaka. Coach, your midfield trio, Ortega, Carreon, and De Bruyker were all heavily involved and each put in strong performance, especially in controlling transitions. Was that part of your tactical plan to dominate the midfield against a young under-20 side? That's a really good question, actually. They haven't built off Santos as a new signing, but this is a much more interesting question than anything we've gotten from from Football Manager. Like a much more tactical question. This is something you get more in real life. I really like this question. I'm going to say yes, that is something that we plan to do tactically. All right, full response. Yes, that's something we plan to do tactically. We play our three in the midfield to try and overload the opposition, allow us to counter through those central positions. Our midfield trio has been a big boost to how we played this season, and they've done so well bringing our tactical vision onto the pitch. So I will say, so far in the few questions we got in, we haven't really had an opportunity where ChatGPT has built off of our answer, which is something I want to see here. But I've been really happy so far with the questions they're asking, because I think this is Very, very interesting. So let's see if they build off of anything previously. If not, I think for this question, I'll try to build in something. So let's see. Ramon Villanueva. Coach, discipline seems to be an issue for both sides today with a combined 7 yellows. Bro, I love our tackling. Your team picked up 4 of them, including Carrion's booking. Are you concerned about the aggressive edge, or do you see it as part of the intensity you want from them? I will say, again, this is another football manager type question, just I think worded a little bit better. And I will say, I'm going to go at ChatGPT here. I'm going to say, what a stupid question. What a stupid question to ask. I'm going to try to be hostile here. What a stupid question to ask. Of course, I'm happy with my team and how they are going into the tackle. If you ask this kind of question, then you don't like football. I'm going to say something like that, like something really hostile. Will they come back? I'm even going to add an exclamation point like I'm yelling. All right, let's see. What do you got for us, ChatGPT? Coach, they just went moving on. I want you to build off of what I'm saying, man. I want to see if we can get something a little bit more interesting here. We got Sophia Limnow from Rappler Sports. Coach, one last one from me. Next, you face Kaya. Next week, do we face Kaya? I don't know. How does it know that? We face Kaya next week. We're known for their high pressing and quick transition based on what adjustment. That's a really good challenge. What adjustments do we think we'll need to make to prepare for that challenge? That's a really good question, actually. I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. So I want to see if I can adjust my prompt a little bit because I really want it to build on my questions a little bit more. So I'm going to adjust the prompt. We're going to do this again. I'm going to do the exact same prompt here, but let's see if we can change it just a little bit. All right, I've opened up a new chat with chat here. So same pictures, same prompt here, keeping the tone serious. But I'm going to change something. Please pause after each question so that I answer live as the manager. And then rather than we can then create a dynamic conversation, I'm going to say, please build off of my responses and subsequent. I'm just saying, please build off of my responses and subsequences. So use my answers to formulate upcoming questions or something like that. So let's do that. Let's see if we can get something a bit more dynamic. I think the original one, much better than Football Manager, much more interesting than Football Manager. But it was like, I just want it to be more of a dynamic conversation, I think. So let's see what we can get here. All right, coach, let's set the scene. We're in the press room after United City's 2-0 win over the Philippines under-20. Cameras flashing, recorders on the table. I'll act as different journalists one at a time, each from a different publication. After each question, I'll pause for your response. Let's see how this does. We are back with Miguel Ramirez, Manila Bulletin. Coach, congratulations on the win. Your side had 59% possession and created more than double the expected goals compared to the 20s. How would you assess your team's overall performance? I'll just say something along the lines of, I thought we played brilliantly today. I thought we controlled the match and fully deserved to win. Let's just start with that. I'm not giving it a whole lot now, so I'll wait for maybe a question where I feel like we can really do something here. All right, second question, Clara Santos, ESPN Philippines. You mentioned, let's go! You mentioned control, especially in the midfield. Ortega and Carrion seem to dictate the tempo. Was that a deliberate tactical? Yes, this is the kind of stuff we want. You mentioned control, using the things. Yes, this is lovely. All right, let's see where we can go with this. Was that a deliberate tactical plan going into the game? Yes, we played 3 in the midfield because we want to control the central areas of the pitch. I feel like that's a nice, like, coach sounding response. You know, we want to control the central areas of the pitch. Ortega and Carrion did a great job in controlling possession, preventing transition opportunities for the opposing team. I don't feel like typing out Philippines under 20s. And overall, we're brilliant. I'll just say something like that. Again, we're just kind of spitballing here. I can think of better answers at some other point. But let's see. Third question. Coach Santos scored again. All right, now we've switched up, linking well with Arcarazo. Okay, new signing. This is an opportunity to see if they'll do the new signing. All right, I'm going to say I think what Santos and Arcarazo are developing is a wonderful partnership together. Santos is, of course, a new signing. Again, saying that it's a new signing. Hopefully, they'll build off of that. He's only been at the club for a couple weeks. but they're showing the beginnings of a great striking partnership. Will they build off of the new signing? I'm giving it new information that it didn't have before. Given how Santos is new to the squad, is quick. Yes, this is what we want. Do you credit that more to his individual qualities or to the system and teammates around him, making it easier for him to settle in? Love these questions. This is nice. I'm just going to say I think it's both. We have great characters in the squad, but also Santos has shown he's a great player. He understands our tactical style. Maybe now it'll ask us about the tactical style. Your defenses are okay. I will say it's doing a good job of saying like it's not just building off of each question. It's doing a nice job of like picking and choosing when the right moments are to build off of the previous answer or to give something new. So what I'm going to do now is let's try to do something. Okay, I'm going to go off of this now. I think this is an absolute success. The last thing I want to do here as we conclude this video, I'm going to open up a new chat. I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of serious, I'm going to make the tone hostile, and let's see what happens there. All right, exact same thing here, but tone is going to be hostile and argumentative. Let's see what we got. And please pause after each question so that I answer live as the manager and then build off of my responses. I want to get into a hostile press conference here. All right, coach, let's get this press conference underway. Coach, your side, okay. Oh, look at how it's changed the question. Coach, your side had 59% and nearly double the shots, but you only managed to score twice. Don't you think with that dominance, the result should have been more convincing? Is your attack wasteful? I love this. This is so good. All right, we scored more goals than the opposition. I don't think we were wasteful. We have to create chances to score. We put 2 in the back of the net today. We did what we need to do. So I'm also coming back a little bit curt here. We're not going straight. Sure, you scored. Yeah, this is so good. It's building off of the response. Oh, I love this. This is so fun. Meanwhile, the under-20s had a couple dangerous moments. They definitely did. Is it worrying that you side? Hey, man. All right, I'm coming back at it. This is fun. We're arguing. I said it's not worrying. We dominated the match. We played well. They didn't score. We were never in too much trouble. I always knew we would win. This is fun. This is what I wanted. I want something more hostile. There's no consequences to what you say in Football Manager pressers, but this is fun. Coach, you were saying you're never in trouble. This is so good. It is building off of it so well. Doesn't this suggest we were rattled by a bunch of teenagers? Oh, what a good question. Also, shout out to them pulling out ABS CBN Sports. I do wish it had a name for the journalists, but I like the fact that we're using like real stuff here. Good stuff. All right, I'm giving kind of a generic Football Manager reply here. We seek to assert ourselves in every match. We're going to pick up some bookings. We're tougher and stronger. We might produce fouls and cards, but also means we win the game. Could I be giving better answers here? Probably, but I'm also trying to go kind of quickly for the video. So Byron, foul, yeah. You're winning form. Isn't that just an excuse for rivals? I love the answer. I love the questions it's asking. Yes, fouling and cards is part of a winning formula. Sometimes we have to, I'm going to say something like, where has the game gone? Where has the game gone? That tough play and getting in the tackle is no longer rewarded. I'm coming back at it with something like, I'm going with the old school. Roy Keane would love this, man. Roy Keane would absolutely love it. Let's see what we got here. As far as you actually say your team can't win, I'm going to say we do both. We do both. We play beautiful football. But we get stuck in when we need to. Let's see what it says about that. I love this. See, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted right here. Beautiful football, really, because you only made 5 shots on target. Bro, they're doing a good job with these questions. I'm just going to respond like, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you ask such a stupid question? Let's see what it says to that. How dare you ask such a stupid question? Never question my managing abilities. Oh, I am a special one. I'm going to say I am the special one. There you go. Jose Mourinho, you got nothing. Whoops. I am the special one. What is it going to say? Thinking longer. Oh, it needs to think. You just snapped at a question. Seriously, coach, you think that kind of errors? This is so good. Aren't you worried? No. I'm going to say no, because I'm the special one. Because I'm the special one. They need to, I'm just going off the rails here. They should bow down. They should bow down to my brilliance of football managing. Let's see what it has to say. I hate the fact that I can't press enter, but I do like that. Bow down, coach. So good. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. This was a lot of fun. So I will put this prompt because I think this prompt is better. I will put this prompt here into the description below in case you guys would like to mess around with that. But I have a lie. This was a lot more fun than a regular football manager press conference. I love the hostile argumentative. And I think adding in the please build off of my responses and subsequent questions made it a lot more interesting. Because we saw in the previous ones, it kind of knows when to build off your response versus when to move on to another question. So in a more serious tone, it did a nice mix of both, I thought, like building off but also moving to the next question. But on this one, it took everything I said and made it to an argument. And I will probably be continuing this off screen because this was so much fun. And I went off the rails a little bit. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I want to give a shout out to Wally. Thank you for inspiring this video and thank you for the idea. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are taking care of yourselves. I will see you all soon. Bye.